Hey, what's up, guys? You're here with the PickDawgz soccer crew. Thank you for joining us here. Gordon, Kirk, and Jack are here with you. Jack was off on Friday videos. He had some personal stuff to take care of, but he's back now. And we are ready to kick some books' asses with some of the free picks for Saturday, guys. We have a lot of great games. And Saturday and Sunday are evenly split pretty much for this weekend. So it's going to be a fairly similar amount of games to talk about for Saturday and Sunday. In addition to this video, we have a few short ones up on the PickDawgz YouTube channel, and we also have a brand new parlay of the day video for you guys. You're getting a parlay from each of us, so you can put some money on that as well, and maybe with some additional cash. All three of us have been doing premium picks, guys. You can find them all up on the pickdawgz.com website or simply by clicking the links in the description of this video. But the best thing that you could possibly do is put all three of us in the same package, guys. Whether you want a 3-day, 7-day, or 30-day pass, or just a day pass as well, and get all of our premium picks for the weekend. Kirk and Jack are both doing NBA and NFL as well. All three of us are doing soccer, guys, so that's a lot of great premium picks from all three of us if you get on board with that. Now, let's get this show on the road, guys. We have, I believe, 13 games to talk about. Jack, we are kicking off with Aston Villa versus Bournemouth. Aston Villa coming off with another win in the Champions League, 2-0 at home against Bologna. And in my mind, I mean, we simply have to take Villa here. Bournemouth hasn't been that good on their own this season.
No, they haven't. And when I actually put in my pick this morning for the graphics and stuff, the bookies were all over the place. Some books had it at like close to minus 150, minus 160, and now they've kind of evened out. And the price that I got kind of has reflected what it is now. Villa money line close to even money is just a play here. I don't care what form they're in. I don't care what form Bournemouth are in right now. They are the better team, and that price is good for me.
You seem to disagree with us, Kirk.
Obviously, why would I agree? Um, Honestly, Villa, yeah, I mean they beat Bologna, but they haven't been good in the first half this season. That's what I will say. They were down to Everton at halftime. They were tied with some other bad teams at halftime. So I'm going with Bournemouth first half money line at plus 310. I don't see how this one doesn't hit. To be honest, Villa's not a first half team.
All right, all right. I know that you're not Aston Villa believer. You said so in the previous video, but I don't know. I think it could be a draw at halftime, but I
They've
honestly don't
won
know what
eight
to
out of
say.
the last 10, by the way. They've won 8 out of the last 10. They're undefeated in 10.
Yes,
What is it going to
that
take for
is
this guy
true.
to believe?
Bournemouth have beaten Villa for the last six. What's it going to take for you to look at the stats?
But it's not the same Bournemouth this season, I'm afraid, Kirk.
Yeah, this Villa team is worse than last season. I'm
They're
afraid.
undefeated in the last 10.
It's a fluke. It's a fluke.
Okay.
Anyways, Kirk has Bournemouth first half money line. I don't have anything else to add to this. Me and Jack are on Aston Villa on the money line. I mean, it could easily happen that all three of us hit this one, and I hope that's gonna be the case because that means more money in your pockets, guys. Now, Brentford is hosting Ipswich, and we know that Ipswich is not a good defensive team. Kirk, they haven't beaten anyone in their last 9 games, while Bournemouth at home is actually undefeated this season, and they have scored 11 goals in 4 games.
Yeah, they have. I think this is the game where we see a really low scoring game. Ipswich on the road, they've basically been parking. They played good teams well on the road. They've lost by one or two, but they don't score a lot. I would say this probably goes 1-2-0 Brentford. So I'm going with under 2.5 at plus 126.
Yeah, I have to disagree with you on that one. I'm simply going to take both teams to score it over 2.5. I think that Brentford is a lot better team. There's no doubt about it. They are scoring a lot when playing at home. 11 goals in 4 games, like I said, while Ipswich is conceding over 2 goals on average when playing on the road, and they're not scoring a lot. So I'm taking both teams to score it over 2.5. I think that they can definitely score, but I think this one goes over. What are your thoughts about this one, Jack?
I think I'm probably going to sound like a broken record because this Brentford team, week in, week out, always score early. I think their last 5 games, whatever, Brentford have scored in the first half. And I actually looked to try and get it again for the price that I've been getting before, but they were like minus 230 or something like that to score 1 goal in the first half. So I'm doing the next best thing. I'm going over 1.5 first half goals total in obviously the first half at plus 130. The last 3 games for Ipswich has gone over this amount in the first half. And as I said, Brentford love to score early. So if those things just come together, this one should hit.
There you have it, guys. Next one is Brighton versus Wolverhampton Kirk. I was watching that game against Manchester City that Wolves were playing last week, and they actually had a very, very good spell when they were creating chances, and City got very lucky in that one. They are getting better in that attacking end. However, still a very, very bad defensive team. They are on a 6-game losing streak. They haven't beaten anyone in their last 7 games, and I'm not sure how much they can do against Brighton, who are actually playing really well this season.
Yeah, Brighton are playing well, but the one thing they are doing is conceding. They've conceded at least 2 goals in 4 of their last 5 games. And Wolves, they're all over the place. 2-1, 5-3, 2-1, 3-1, 3-2. I think both teams score here in the first half. I like for this to be a really high scoring game. So both teams to score first half plus 260. I think that's insane value.
Now, Jack, you have an interesting player prop here. You have a goal scorer, and I think this is very likely to hit because João Pedro is out for Brighton. And he is one of their leading goal scorers. They have some other injuries as well, but I do really like your player prop, even though I see Danny Welbeck still being listed as questionable for this game.
Yeah, he's been questionable for the last 3 days or so, and we haven't heard much in the presses. And the whole injury report thing is not the same as US sports. But yeah, if he starts again, you're gonna have to wait for the lineups on this one, or obviously tick the option that it voids the bet if he doesn't start. But if he starts here, Welbeck is scoring. If he's fit enough to start this game, he scores. He has been a key to Brighton's success this season. And Wolves have conceded 23 goals in the league alone, which is head and shoulders above anyone else in the Premier League. So if Welbeck gets a single chance, he's going to finish it. Plus 200, fantastic price.
Yeah, and I agree with Kirk with this one. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think that Wolves can get to the scoreboard. They're playing well in the attacking end, so I'm going with both teams to score in over 2.5 goals at minus 114. Now, for the last pick in the EPL, Jack, we have Everton hosting Fulham, and Everton seem to be awakened right now. They haven't lost any of their last 4 games, which is a strange sight to see. While Fulham, on the other side, is on a 2-game losing streak, and they have conceded 6 goals in those 2 games. Yes, they played against City and Aston Villa, but still, that's a bit much.
It is, but on the flip side, they're still scoring. They're just having defensive issues, and everyone does if you're against City, and it's no surprise that you have defensive issues against Villa. So it's not a big concern for me. You look at the games that they played against Nottingham Forest and so on this season, teams that are worse than them, they're dominating them. So Fulham on the road does not matter to me. Plus 155 is the play for me.
What do you like in this one, Kirk?
Jack, I gotta agree with you. It is the play here. But I'm just gonna add one more stat. Fulham haven't lost to Everton their last 6 meetings, 4 wins, 2 draws. I think they make it 5 wins, 2 draws in their last 7. Give me Fulham on the money line.
Well, just for the sake of it, I will disagree with both of you. I think this is going to be a very defensive game, especially from Everton. Yes, Fulham is due for a breakout performance, but they are simply not there defensively right now. And I could potentially see a 1-1, maybe even 2-2 game in this one. So I'm going to go with the draw at plus 240. Now, off to La Liga, guys. Valladolid and Villarreal being the first game, we have to talk about. What do you like in this one, Jack?
What do I like in this one? The under, please. I think both these teams have been, in fact, I'll take that back. I'd say Valladolid have been involved with games where there has been a lot of goals. But Villarreal have just been playing like so boring this season. It doesn't matter who the opponent is. They just sit back and just try and win on the counter attack. And being a Tottenham fan who has to persevere through like 2 seasons of that under Conte, it is absolutely hell to watch. Give me under 2.5 here. I think the price is good. Villarreal have gone under this so many times this season already, so plus 110 is good enough for me to take.
Do you agree with Jack, Kirk?
I don't know. I might. It depends on what the score is at the end of the game. I have Valladolid and draw here at minus 140. If it's 2-2, sure. I don't agree with Jack. If it's 1-1, I agree with Jack. So that's how that's going to go. But yeah, I mean, Villarreal, they've conceded 18 goals. Valladolid have conceded 21. Valladolid are way better at home. I know they're in 18th, but they're still better at home than on the road. I think they get at least a point out of this one. So I'm taking them on the double chance.
Yeah, Valladolid has been surprisingly good on that defensive end when playing at home. Only 4 conceded goals in 5 games. They are not scoring a lot at all this season. Only 8 goals in 10 games. And neither has Villarreal on the road. 7 goals in 5 games. 6 conceded in those 5 games. Honestly, this one could go either way. It could go with the over. It could go with the under. But the last 5 games that Valladolid played have gone over 2.5 goals. So I'm gonna go with over 2.5 goals once again. Villarreal's last 2 have gone under. I think it's time for them to wake up and do something in that attacking end. So I'm taking the over 2.5 goals. The second pick in La Liga, guys, is between Las Palmas and Girona. Girona coming off of a win in the Champions League. Kirk, they were able to beat Slovan Bratislava at home 2-0. Before that, they lost to Sociedad at home in La Liga. While Las Palmas is coming off of a very high scoring game against Valencia, in which they got 3 points on the road.
Yeah, I'm not a Las Palmas believer at home. I'm not gonna lie. Every time I feel like they're at home, I want to bet 1-1. I like betting correct score once every long form video. This is gonna go 1-1. I really think so. It's plus 550, correct score 1-1. I don't think either team is really that good. Girona on the road in a tough place to play like Las Palmas. Just give me 1-1.
Now, Jack, I'm looking at the injury report, especially for Girona. I see 10 players listed as injured, and that is a lot. And a lot of those players are starting players. Of course, like you said, it's not like we are talking about the American sports where the teams have to disclose if a player is injured or is he ready to play. This can easily change right before the game time or on the game day. But I don't think that at least half of those players that are listed as injured will probably not play. Do you think that will affect Girona's performance in this game?
Yeah, and we've seen it for their last 3 games, really. Like on the road, the Girona have scored 1 goal in 3 games. You look at Las Palmas, like Kirk said, just to reiterate, they've scored 1 goal in the last 2 games at home. So that's enough for me to take the under here. And I think Las Palmas actually, they scored 3 goals against Valencia last week, but I think they broke like a LaLiga record or something to do with like XG and goals. They just had over 1 XG, so they should have basically scored 1 goal in theory, but they ended up scoring 3, and that's not ever been done in the La Liga before. So I think that was a complete fluke. Not concerned about it. So under 2.5.
Yeah, it seems like that all 3 of us are kind of in agreement here. I'm going to take first half draw at plus 110. I think this is going to be a very defensive game for both teams, and I do expect a low scoring affair in this one. Now, off to the Italian Serie A, guys. The first game we have to talk about is between Napoli and Lecce, and we're not even going to talk about this one, guys. And we don't talk about our picks before we start recording. It just happens sometimes that we have exactly the same pick. And this is one of those games, guys. I'm simply going to give you all 3 of the free picks that we have, and that is Napoli minus 1.5. We have different prices, of course. Kirk is getting it at minus 126. I have it at minus 108, and Jack has it at minus 120. Napoli is playing well, and we have to keep riding that wave. All 3 of us are in agreement about this one. Now, for the next game, also is Serie A, Atalanta and Verona. And I gotta say, I'm a hater of Atalanta right now after that performance in the Champions League against Celtic, Jack.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah, I still keep making this play with them because I can't stop doing it until it actually hits. Atalanta win to 0. The Celtic game in the week, absolutely. I nearly tore my hair out watching it, honestly. But if I stop doing it, I know it's going to hit. So I'm just going to keep doing it.
Yeah, you know what? It was a very low. I mean, the amount of chances Atalanta missed in that game is just staggering, and that can't happen twice in a row, Kirk. What do you like in this one?
Yeah, if they don't get off the board here early, I think they're gonna have a new 23-man roster come next weekend here. So I think they're gonna score early, especially a team like Verona, who I don't really trust to not concede. I'm going with Atalanta first half money line at home at -135. I think it's a pretty good price.
Yeah, and I'm gonna take Atalanta to win it over 2.5 goals. I think that they will just go off on Verona here, and all those chances they missed against Celtic will come back, and I think that Verona will suffer in this game. Now we are off to Jack's favorite league, and that is Bundesliga. And the first game that we have to talk about is Augsburg and Dortmund. Jack, Dortmund, I would say quite the embarrassing performance against Real Madrid. You were up 2-0 at halftime, and then instead of making changes that actually make sense and not putting Emre Can on the right wing back right back position to guard Mbappe or Vinicius Junior or whatever. They ended up losing that match quite badly, and I like I said, quite an embarrassing performance by them.
Yeah, and it all comes down to the manager, right? I think if you employ managers that are very fresh, they've just come from playing football professionally, you have to understand that they're not going to be able to tactically have the advantage in those big games. You look at Vincent Company again. I don't really want to raise it, Kurt, but I'm just using it as an example here. You look at Vincent Company as well, for example. Some of the big games Bayern have had this season, they've just not looked good, and tactically, they're just not smart enough there. That being said, the Bundesliga has seen so many goals this season. We're getting over 3 on the Asian line at -105. I could see this one being a cricket score 7, 7-5, 6-4. It could be anything. So give me the over 3.
I mean, Emre Can is easily the slowest player in Bundesliga. Am I right, Kirk? And then they pull him to guard Mbappe or Vinicius Junior. I mean, even the most inexperienced coach should make better decision than that.
Yeah, I mean that was a really tough decision. I don't know if he's the slowest, but he's definitely up there. Definitely up there. I need to get back on. You need to think of. There was someone I was thinking of. I just can't put a name to the face right now of who's slower. But yeah, I think Dortmund comes out and wins this one pretty easily. You might say this is a trap line and it's a public line and all that stuff, but Augsburg, I just do not trust them this season. They were better in past years, but this year they might look like they're headed for relegation. So I got Dortmund on the money line at -115. I just have to be there.
I mean, they will certainly try and bounce back after that loss to Real Madrid, and I think they could potentially do it, but I don't think they can do it by keeping a clean sheet. They're just too distraught right now, and they are shaken up, in my opinion. So I'm going with both teams to score it over 2.5 at -143. Now, for the next Bundesliga game, Kirk, we have St. Pauli playing against Wolfsburg. We know that St. Pauli has been anything but good this season. They are once again on a 3-game losing streak, during which they've conceded 8 goals. Yes, they have been scoring quite consistently, and Wolfsburg has actually been conceding quite a lot as of late.
Yeah, 4 games straight for Pauli over 2.5. 4 games straight for Wolfsburg over 2.5. Keep it simple. Over 2.5 here at -120.
I would say 6 straight games for Wolfsburg that go over 2.5, and I agree with you on this one. I think it's going to be a goal fest, and surprisingly, we are getting a very, very small line on the shots on target, over 8.5 shots on target at -108. If we want to see the over and it hits, I would be very, very surprised if we don't see the shots going over 9. I mean, teams would have to be very, very effective for that pick to lose, Jack.
Yep, everything Kirk said. Over 2.5. Short and sweet.
There you go. The last pick in Bundesliga, guys, is between Stuttgart and Kiel. Stuttgart coming off of a nice win against Juventus in the Champions League. They had what, 2 disallowed goals, maybe even 3 in that game, if I'm not mistaken. It could have been a lot worse for Juventus. Stuttgart was simply a lot better team. While Kiel on the other side, one of the worst teams in the league, Kirk.
Yeah, I don't even want to say my pick because I saw Jack's pick and it just makes me want to run to the other room and throw up everywhere. I mean, it's just like there's like
That's
homer
so
picks,
cringe. Wow.
there's long shot picks, but there's just picks that you're just throwing your money in the trash can, and this is one of them. This just has no chance of hitting. So my pick's over 3.5. I just want to hear Jack's logic here.
You got a response, Jack?
Yes, I'll just give you my thought process here. Yeah, Kiel have not looked great for a lot of this season, but the tough games, they've managed to defend pretty well, and they've also found the back of the net. I think most recently of the Leverkusen game, 2-2, shock result. Everyone, I think all of us had Leverkusen like by an absolute mile in our 3 picks for that game. We'd have to go back and look just to correct that, but we'd have been stupid if we hadn't. And at plus 650, I mean, I'm willing to just take a little home run on this. If you've got like a couple dollars change in your accounts and you want to find something, stick it on the draw.
I mean, it maybe ends in a 2-2 draw. I'd be happy with that.
You mean
No?
like 6-0 win?
All right, well, we'll see about that. I know that the comments will be quite active, guys, and we encourage you to leave those comments. Of course, we are happy to answer any of the questions you might have. As far as my pick goes, I'm taking Kiel over 2.5 cards at minus 114. I think that's an incredibly low line for them. They will be put under a lot of pressure by Stuttgart, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see at least 2, if not all 3 cards hit in the first half for Kiel. Now, the last couple of picks, guys, are for the French League One, and the first one being between the Rennes and Brest. Brest got a 1-1 draw in the Champions League against Leverkusen Jack. Rennes has been playing pretty well lately, and for some reason, despite playing pretty well, Brest is still a pretty heavy underdog here.
Yeah, they are, and I think it's down to their away form. Their away form has not been great. They got a really good win against Salzburg in the Champions League on the road, but other than that, it's been a bit rough in the league. However, saying that, they're unbeaten in the last 4, and Rams had a shock defeat to Auxerre in their last game. So I think Brest can do enough to at least get a 1 point out of this game. And for the price we're getting, I just like it. It's a lean, but it's good enough for me.
Draw. Next.
Both teams to score for me at minus 154. I could very well see this one ending in a draw, but I don't think that either side can keep a clean sheet. I think that Brest, still being undefeated in the Champions League, they are being carried by that quite a lot. And I just simply see them scoring a goal here, but I see them conceding as well. The last pick of this video, short and sweet, Kirk. Lance and
Draw.
Leo. That's all
Draw.
for you. All right.
Yep. I don't have enough energy after that pick from Jack. That just I don't know. I just can't talk anymore, really.
Jack,
Just wait until you hear his correct score tomorrow, guys. Make sure you subscribe and tune in for that one. Don't miss that one.
I mean, I'm making millionaires overnight tomorrow.
I'm making millionaires on the kill draw, buddy. Lille, I'm going with Lille here. 4 wins out of the last 5. Most notably, beating Real Madrid, beating Atletico Madrid, and we're getting plus 210. Give me that.
yeah,
Look at this.
like
Last 4 games have been draws. Last 4 games for Lens have been draws.
that is not true. They won last
No,
against
yes.
Well, no one cares about that game. The 4 before.
That didn't happen or what?
Yeah, my phone was upside down when I was showing it, so I spoke it wrong.
Anyways, I'm taking first half draw in this one, guys, plus 112. I think this is going to be a defensive performance by both sides. And I know that Lille is coming off of another Champions League win against another Madrid team. But this one, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see a 0-0 draw in this one. So I'm going to go with the first half draw. That's it, everyone. Thank you for joining us here. Check out the rest of the free picks, guys. Check out the Pauli video as well up on the Pick Dawgz YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, and we'll see you guys soon with more free picks.